Hey everyone. Today I'm making a few cards with a bunch of things that I have already die cut, stamped, inked up. This particular background here is a background that I had die cut and ink blended a bit, and then I've got a bunch of random things that have been piling up on my desk that I figured I should just start putting them together to make some cards. So this large Get Well Soon die is by Lawn Fawn, and then those leaves are the Essential Greenery dies by Prism Studios, and I had ink blended those in a nice blue ink. So I'm just placing the leaves onto the words, or the words onto the leaves, kind of lining it up how I wanted it, and then I will stick it all onto the card. And I'm going to make these cards in shifts. You're going to see I'm going to kind of go back and forth between several different cards. Once I get this glued on, I think I pop it off to the side and work on a different card for a little bit. This was just one of those days where I decided to start using up some of the stuff that's been piling up on my desk, and I thought I would turn my video on while I was doing it. I did just die cut that circle out from the Spellbinders Postage Edge Circles die because I thought it might look nice with that bike on it. Spoiler alert, I don't end up using the bike. But I pulled out a purple ink and was going to ink it up with, I think it was Wild Wisteria or something like that. But I had a bunch of pink ink left on a brush, so I used that instead. And I'm really trying hard to make this bicycle work because it's cute. But I will do something else with that circle. So I've grabbed out a little pottery dish that I have a few smaller die cuts in. I've got some different leaves and flowers and random bits and pieces. So I'm just kind of flipping through them to see if there's anything that will work on this card. I liked that leaf that's on there. That one is actually cut out of a book page. And I thought that might be fun, but then I decided to use a different one instead. I'm going to pull one out that has, I think, a metallic gold shimmer spray on white cardstock. So I'm still just going through all these little pieces to see if there's anything else that jumps out at me for this card. But nothing else really was from there, so let's go with this. I did get a little smudge on there, so just taking that off. And so far I like that. And I'm going to bring my Misty in, and I wanted to stamp a happy birthday greeting onto that circle. So I've got a little happy birthday from Waffle Flower. I'm stamping that with my VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink. And I will also stamp an inside birthday sentiment on the inside of that card as well. And I chose the one that says, "Hope your day is as special as you are." Now this panel I had previously die cut. I don't have that die anymore. I don't even remember what it's from. I think maybe it was a Spellbinders one. But anyways, I wanted to ink it up with some brown ink because my nephew got me for Christmas a little envelope with a bunch of dried flowers that he bought at a craft fair. And there was one orange flower that just really jumped out at me for that particular card. But first I'm adding a little leaf into the inside of this card. And I'm also going to add a few water droplet gems. Do you guys go back and forth between different cards all at once while you're creating as well? I'm sure a lot of you probably do. Anyways, this is how my brain was processing this day. So I'm just gluing those gems onto that card, and then I'll set it aside and go back to this card and start assembling it. So gluing that circle down, and then I will glue that little branch down. And then I'm also going to add some gems. Oh, obviously not yet. I'm going to let that dry for a bit and go back to this card. And in a moment here, I'm going to bring out the dried flower. Look at how pretty that is. I love the bright orange of that, and I thought it looked nice with that brown panel. And I'm going to use the Stitched Rectangle dies by Paper Rose, and just seeing what size I wanted, and I'm just going to cut that panel out. I just wanted a little bit of a white border around that, just to kind of go with the white that's going to be showing through the window of that panel. So here we go. Look at how pretty that looks. And I'm going to stamp a sentiment from the Instant Artist Reflection stamp set by Stamps by Me. So I'm just lining it up in my MISTI, and I am stamping the one that says "You are wonderful." And I'm actually just going to stamp it in that same brown ink that I used to ink up that panel. And I'll stamp it a second time just to make it a little bit darker. Give that a quick clean, and then back to this card. This is where I'm going to add a few gems. And in true fashion for me, this took me forever to figure out how many gems I wanted and the placement. I have done a couple videos recently where I laid the gems down and I liked them right where they were, which is crazy because usually it takes me this long or longer. But finally here, I will commit to something. I think I'm just about ready to actually glue it down. And then I will pop that card off to the side and start assembling this one. So I'll glue that brown panel down in place. Make sure I've got a nice little even white border. And then I'm going to line up my flower, dab a little tiny bit of glue and stick that on. I just love that flower. It's so pretty. Anyways, these are the 3 cards that I created. And I still have a ton of things on my desk that I still need to use up, but at least I used a few things and I've got 3 pretty little cards done here. The 3rd card here, I did not do anything on the inside of this card. But it leaves lots of room for writing because I like to send a lot of cards out and I like to write a lot in them. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful, peaceful day. And if you've enjoyed this little bit of chaos of me putting things together, or if you've watched or enjoyed any of my other card making videos or scrapbooking videos, please do like and comment and subscribe. I appreciate it.